Top 10 Best Manhwa You Need to Be Reading in 2022. Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today we are taking a look at the top 10 best manhwa of 2022. Manhwa is a type of Korean comic that has become increasingly popular in recent years. It has a unique style that sets it apart from other comics and manga. With so many great titles out there, it's hard to narrow it down to just 10. But here's what I have come up with. So let's begin. Starting off with our number 10, Overpowered. Our protagonist Greed spends a lot of his time in this virtual world. The series starts with Greed concluding a quest that took him months to complete. He finds out that the item he collected was a book for the renowned blacksmith class. Unexpectedly, he uses the book on himself, resetting his level to 1. Consequently, he has to start again and progress his way up. What makes this manhwa so enjoyable is that Greed does not become strong immediately. He must figure out how to play his blacksmith class very well, so he spends much of his time constructing weapons and selling them for in-game currency. It is amusing to watch Greed's journey to success, wealth, strength, and respect. Number 9. Peerless Dad. The second to last one we look at is The Peerless Dad, which is about a former mercenary who is now a single father trying his best to raise his children. In his younger days, he was trained by a mysterious mentor and went to become a mercenary who would kill people if he was paid enough. His life changed when he fell in love and they had a family. Sadly, his wife passed away, leaving him to take care of their children alone. He gets a job as a gatekeeper, but his training makes him so strong that he is often asked to take on difficult jobs to provide a better life for his kids. This is a heartwarming story of a father determined to give his children a good life, and it is something that I really enjoy. Number 8. Ranker Who Lives a Second Time. Yeon-woo had a twin sibling who suddenly vanished 5 years prior. One day, he got his brother's diary and found that his brother had been deceived and killed in the tower of the sun god known as Obelisk. Obelisk is a world where numerous universes and measurements meet up. Yeon-woo chose to climb the tower to avenge his brother with the assistance of the diary he found. His time in the military turned out to be useful as he turned out to be an extraordinary and competent player while climbing the tower. This is a manhwa that falls under the classification of power fantasy. It appears as though I have an inclination for these power fantasy stories. Number 7. Sweet Home. From the same writer who created the psychological thriller Bastard comes the fantastic new work Sweet Home. Cha Hyun-soo lives a lonely life in an apartment complex, having lost his family in a tragic accident. He has even set a date to take his own life. One night, he discovers one of his neighbors has been transformed into a monster that eats humans. 2 days later, the world is in chaos as these monsters begin to appear in different shapes and sizes depending on the desires of the infected. Our protagonist must find a way to survive in this zombie apocalypse full of unexpected twists and turns. Number 6. Bastard. Bastard is an excellent example of psychological horror in manhwa form. Jin, the protagonist, is forced to live with his serial killer father and is commanded to do his father's bidding from a young age. However, when his father takes interest in a girl that Jin likes, Jin begins to discreetly resist, concocting plans to protect her. The writing is incredibly suspenseful and produces moments that leaves readers on the edge of their seats. If you are a fan of intense and dark tales, then Bastard is the perfect manhwa for you. Moving on to our number 5, The Beginning After the End. In my opinion, the common manga plot of a character being transported to another world and slowly become powerful, as well as finding a powerful pet, is quite generic. Some of these stories are just slight variations of the same thing, while others are downright bad. However, Tibet is not one of the bad ones. Initially, I thought it would be terrible, but after reading the first 10 chapters, I was hooked. The characters are well developed and the art is above average, in my opinion of course. As for the overpowered protagonist, he is strong, but as the story progresses, it becomes clear that his power is not as great as seemed. All in all, if you are a fan of isekai stories and powerful but intelligent protagonists, then this is a great manga to read out there. Number 4. Survival Story of a Sword King in a Fantasy World. Hanbin was the main character in this story whose guidance system was broken, which caused him to be stuck in tutorial world. Each time he reached level 5, his level would reset, making it difficult for him to escape the first world. Through sheer resilience, he kept trying to level up, hoping to eventually make it out of the tutorial world and into the main one. After years of grinding, he eventually succeeded and emerged from the tutorial world as an overpowered swordsman. If you are a fan of Manhwa where MC is stuck, then you should definitely check this one out. Number 3. Triple F Class Trash Hero. Triple F Class Trash Hero revolves around the protagonist Kin Han-soo. After a decade of being summoned to this fantasy world, he managed to defeat the Demon King. However, when he was about to be sent back to his own world, the deity of the fantasy world appears with a report card in his hand. Kin Han-soo gets an F grade for his personality, resulting him into having to go back to the starting line 10 years ago and try to conquer the fantasy world once more. Will he be able to break the cycle? If you have no problem with the edgelords like Kin Han-soo, then you are in for a treat. But if you don't like trashy and edgy main characters, this may not be the manhwa for you. Number 2. Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint. Next, we have Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint from the same illustrator of Solo Leveling. Kim Doksa has been the only reader of the novel 3 Ways to Survive in a Ruined World for the last 10 years. After reading the last chapter of the novel, the real world is thrown into chaos and people are required to take part in various supernatural events to stay alive. The world is playing out just as Kim read in the novel, so it is like he has watched the walkthrough before playing the game. As Kim and his friends go through the scenarios, they are faced with dangerous threats and life-threatening situations. It is an incredibly fun read with 114 chapters for you to enjoy. Plus, it is illustrated by the same artist as Solo Leveling, so the art is amazing. And finally, number 1. Solo Leveling. Solo Leveling, which was published in 2018 on Webtoon, has made a huge impact on the manhwa or webcomic industry due to its captivating storyline and awesome battles featuring incredibly powerful characters. It is transformed from a tale about a weak and powerless character to one about a protagonist with extraordinary powers. This has caused many manhwa readers to question if there are other manhwa with similar stories but distinct plot points. The main attraction of the manhwa is its beloved main character, Sung Jin-woo. To sum it up, he went from being an E-rank hunter to an overpowered character, so overall it's really a good manhwa to read. If you're a fan of manga and Korean comics, then you are in for a treat. We have scoured the interest and compiled a list of the most exciting and entertaining manhwa that are guaranteed to keep you entertained all year long. So before you leave, do like, share and subscribe for more top 10s list.